Hello, dear friends. Welcome to Live Conversation on ALLATRA TV. On these programs, we get to meet new people in order to learn more about them and find out how they envision a happy and creative society, how they envision our future.
And this broadcast is a part of a Creative Society project launched on the platform of ALLATRA International Public Movement. And for now, our goal is to ask all people on Earth how do they envision creative society where every person feels safe and lives comfortably. And in order to achieve our main goal, we use modern technologies and the rule of six handshakes, which said that all people connected through powerful social connections. We invite guests to our programs, and these guests invite their friends and acquaintances, and this creative chain goes on. And in the end of this program, we're going to ask our guests to share and name one person whom he would like to meet in this live broadcast. My name is Irina, and my co-host today is Olga.
And today we're having a very special guest with us, Mr. Salah Mohammed Salah, Egyptian nursing ambassador, one of the most active youth in the world. Can you please tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yes, sure, guys. Hello, Rina, Malika. We're doing great, guys. Actually, I'm Salah Muhammad Salah. I'm the nursing ambassador in the world. Also, I represented my country to many different countries, to be Iranian nurse. And also, I'm the ex-president of the Student Union of Pana Faculty of Nursing. Right now, also, I'm acting as a president of the youth office in the General Nursing Center. I mean, the main board of nurses here in Egypt. And also, I do a lot of volunteer work. And also, I'm the United Nations volunteer, the WHO's volunteer. And also, I got many of managerial positions before. I was the coordinator of the first international conference at Pana Faculty of Nurses. I'm the founder of the International Camp of Nurses in the Egypt. So I got many different volunteer here in Egypt. But right now, I'm acting as the nursing ambassador in the world, and also I'm the president of the youth office, the General Nursing Center.
Which is really great, and we actually prepared a surprise for you. We prepared a collage. It's pictures from your life, an event from your life, and we would like for you to comment on them, so we would know more about you. Please, if our technical support can show us collage. Do you see it on the screen?
Oh,
You can just go one by one. Tell us what it was.
okay. Actually, the first picture it was with this. Actually, yes, it was the when I was teach the people in Indonesia about what is the sustainable developmental goals, and also the upper one is this is met with Egypt Student Union manager, and also some securities managers here in Egypt. The other one, when I was a speaker in Mansoura University, when I was public speaker there. The other one also, this is the international conference when I was in Indonesia before. And the other one, when I honored from the president of my university. And also the red one or the pink one, when I was teaching the teenagers about some kind of obstetric and gynecological issues. The surprise, right?
Thank you so much for sharing. And we would like to ask you what inspires you and what motivates you to do what you do, and why did you choose to become nursing?
Okay, Irina, maybe you can ask the question again. Sorry.
Yeah, I was asking, can you share with us what inspires you and motivates you, and why did you choose nursing?
Actually, I'm usually feel the people my father usually said me Salah, you are a different person. Actually, I got at the point when I was young, and I'm usually feeling that people of themselves. I can feel what do you feel. I'm really so sensitive, emotional somehow, and this is what the nurse should be. So the main passion for me is the people themselves. When they passion me, when they inspire me, when they motivate me, if they need me, definitely I'm gonna be in. For that, I'm choosing nursing because I'm not looking for a position. I'm just looking for how the people feel comfortable, how the people feel safe, how the people feel like secure. And this is my job. This is my like the rule of my job. As a nurse, I have to like care the patient like 24 hours 7. And also as a nurse, I have to secure them. As a nurse, I have to save them. As a nurse, I have to protect them even from the disease itself. So this is like my job, and I'm really so proud of that.
Thank you very much for sharing this. And as a the student's president, as the public speaker, and so on, could you please share with us the role, your vision of the role of the leaders and influencers all over the world in building a better society?
Mhm. Actually, actually as a leader, also my main also to build the society itself. Like this is like the role of the leaders over like many different major and disciplines. As a nursing leader, this is my major and the area of interest is I have to like build the young nurses to build also the society. Like for me as a leader, as I mentioned in the nursing major, I have to build like young nurses to build like many different like for example hospital, many different like healthcare policies, many different of healthcare pillars. Also, like I see nurses are the main pillar of the hospital and over the world. Like every hospital in the world, they cannot like go through things without nurses. So as a leader, I have to mention like maybe we have to teach the people, we have to teach like the young nurses, we have to teach the young leaders to build the creative society and also the society itself.
Yes, thank you so much. And we also, before live broadcast, we discussed with you that actually some people may confuse medicine, healthcare with nursing. And maybe you could clarify for us, for our viewers, the difference between nursing and the medical system itself. Because, for example, I had a
Yes,
sister nurse.
thanks for this question. Thanks for this question, by the way, because this is like important, guys. Actually, medical major is like completely different about the like nurses major. Actually, we are one discipline, yes. Like one health team, yes, we are working together and we cooperate together, we co-management together for just make the people or the patient stable somehow. But nurses are completely different. Like one day, the WHO stated about nurses is like this is like separate about medical persons. I mean, they are not assistant anymore. They having like their own science. They having their own rights. They having their own like their own strategies, techniques, policies, and all like medicine. So doctors also this is like they having their own discipline, and also nurses they having also their own discipline. But we can manage together. We cooperate together. We co working together for just the patient itself. So this is like separate, completely separate about the medical major, and also completely different about nurses major. This is like one discipline, and also we one discipline. Also the physiotherapy is the same. Also the um, like the scientists also the same. I mean, this is every discipline have their own policies and techniques and sciences, but at the end we are cooperate together for the patient itself.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting for me to clarify that question also. Thank you. And I would like to move to the second part of our broadcast. And could you please share with us, how do you envision the creative society where everyone safe and everyone lives comfortably in all spheres of life?
Actually, for me, creative society facing like some issues, like usually having some problems, but also we are a persons as, or we should a persons or a human beings, we have to face it together to solve it. Like for example, like there is climatic problems, economic problems, also political, pandemic, and even also other sequences. For me, this is the point or the question is how can we minimize the inevitable losses of those problems, and also how can or what is the next of the generation and also civilization. This is the point, and this is the questions that we need to answer him. We answer it. So also as a young leader through the pandemic area, I was also a nurse fighter, or I was also like the fighters from the pandemic years. Like as I mentioned before, I got COVID-19 when I was also treating the people. So this is also one of the rule that I have to do it through the creative community or the creative society. For me, I did my rule, and also other leaders they have to do the rules to make the community better and better. As I mentioned, there is like inevitable losses. For example, in the pandemic area with the pandemic problems, this is like inevitable losses. Like there is many people dead, many people also got COVID-19. This is inevitable crisis, inevitable losses. So how can we minimize the problems, or how can we minimize the risks? I mean, by every leader or everyone doing their job, everyone doing their task. For me, as I mentioned, like I'm COVID-19 fighter, so I did my job, and also the same disciplines they having to do in their job also for make or minimize the risks of the inevitable losses.
I agree with you completely. I also think that we can minimize it and we can overcome it only together by uniting, because separately we won't survive definitely. And I also wanted to ask you about social spheres of our life. How do you envision education, healthcare in general, and nursing in particular should be in a creative society? How maybe we can change it so we will build a better society?
Actually, also the nurses major or the nursing major here, they can also change the society by, as I mentioned, by doing their job perfectly, and also they do. For me, really, because I'm the mentor, or I work as a mentor, like in some areas, they really doing the job, and also they're doing a perfect, and they are, as I mentioned, they are the main pillar for the hospitals in the world. But as I mentioned before, they cannot change, or also they can do a creative rule through doing the job perfectly. Like they go through like the foundation and the principles of the creative society. Uh, they also establish the human security, they establish the human qualities, they establish like the transparency. I mean, so the nurses should do like the job, and this is like the main pillar rule for them to change the society and also to being like more creative and so on.
So basically, people have to have responsibility at whatever they do in their life, full responsibility, and do it in the best way possible, right? That's what you mean.
Yes, sure. Yeah, sure.
And if everyone is responsible and everybody doing their jobs, then we live in a society, and all these creative, all these foundations for the best society working, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and also to go through like the actual building steps in the creative society. For example, for me as a leader, as I mentioned before, maybe when I say creativity, for me, I believe that creativity more than difference or to be different. Creativity for me is like to be unique and effective, and also to be effective in your society. You have to do the best ever you can do, or just met the society, the creative society like principles and also and items. As I mentioned, also to build like the actual or the actual building steps for the creative society is for like to inform the people about what is creativity mean, to also to help you to just to understand the meaning of the term itself, to assist you through like building a process, and also inform the government how we can go through like perfect structure for creative community, and also to make like you know I mean to see to make the people saying the opinion and suggestions, and also to be considered to go through like perfect creative society. I mean that.
Mhm. And I think it's already very good contribution would be of every person to a better society. And what else every person can do to contribute to this better world, better society?
Yes, also together the people like together a teamwork, but the team members also they have definitely they have to know the meaning and like the actual or the true meaning of the creativity, to being like creative and effective with you to help you through building, even also to make take help from the government itself. I mean political help, because it's really a great point to make like creative society. Definitely, the government going to help you, and also to make like refund them. Refund them. I mean here to take the suggestions of the people to just be what is the vision and the mission of different kind of people, also to take them like in a very considerable way. I mean, so this is like the actual steps to build like creative society. Actually, for me, from my point of view, but as a nursing ambassador, or the nurse's role in the creative society, as I mentioned, they have to doing the job in a perfect way. They have to be creative. For example, if we studied like the theoretical part of, uh, for example, certain diagnosis or certain treatment, one, two, three. Yes, I can do one, two, three, but in like a different way. Maybe we can also like go through two, three, one. But if it not will affect the patient itself. So the creativity, maybe we can make another direction, but in a safety way, like in a safe way, sorry, in a secure way, in a protective way for the patient without harmful for any persons, I mean.
Thank you very much for your answer. And I would like to share with you that on AllatraUnites.com website, there is an article came out, article with 8 foundations to building creative society. This article was created on the basis of interviews, different social polls all through the world with different people from different countries, and all these answers of different people were put together and combined, and this article was created on this basis. And I would like to read these 8 foundations which were chosen, which were the most of the people were talking about. And it's human life, human freedom, human safety, transparency, the openness of information for all, creative ideology, development of personality, justice and equality, self-governing society. Would you please choose one of the foundations so we could discuss it more deeply? Which one?
Actually, I have wrote it before. It's really great, guys. As I mentioned, this is like from Electra and many different people opinion or stereotype or just point of view. As I'm a creative person, for me, or as a leader here, yes, I agree with them. But maybe it can be different through like many different point of views, like for creative persons, as I mentioned. I choose like the human freedom. Human freedom, I mean, like every person or the people were born having the right for to be free. I mean, also they having the power to change. Like every person cannot be restricted toward changing because for me also, for example, also Rina and also Olaga, also you have guys the power for to be like free. There is no person can be limited to be free. Like you were born as a person and you were born as a human being, so you have to right to be like free, and you have to right to have like power to change. I mean, also we're still youth, or we're still like young. So I mean, usually I believe that the youth or the young people, they also the brain of organizations. Also, I mean the heart of any foundations. They having the power really to change like in a very perfect way. So the human freedom is like a great item, because when I wrote it before in the society project for the creative society project, really I stuck little time to just think human freedom. What does it mean? And also when I thought about it, like I found that really yes, the people were born to have the right to be like free. No persons can be restricted through to change, through like to say their opinion, to change the world. I mean, so this is like the perfect item for the foundations of building or creative society steps for actual building.
Yes, thank you. And it's what you say really resonates with the foundation itself, and we would like to show it and to read it out loud to our viewers how it sounds. Human freedom. Every human is born with the right to be a human being. All people are born free and equal. Everyone has the right to choose. There can be no one and nothing on earth superior to a human, his freedoms and rights. The implementation of human rights and freedoms must not violate the rights and freedoms of others. So you already shared your opinion on that, and maybe you have something else to add in this foundation or maybe other foundations.
Yes, sure. Also, creative ideas. Creative ideas, sure. This is like the true items, the inevitable items, really, of the foundations or the principles of creative society. Because if really persons do not have creative ideas, how it goes? Like, how can he complete his life? Because creativity usually builds a futures, guys, leader futures. I mean, more of people or most of people here lives without creativity. So really, I feel they cannot love. They are also like they for me they are not maybe example like they are not human beings because you do need really creativity to build your future, to complete your life in a very perfect way, to complete or to build really your career in one day, to complete your studying. So every day we need creativity points to just complete our days, to just follow up the next day, to complete what we do, what we need, what we can complete in our futures. So creativity really is main items through the foundations of creative society. Sure, this is like a great item here.
Thank you so much for sharing your opinion on these foundations. And I also wanted to ask you, you help people so much and you inspire people. You, as a public speaker, motivate people. And could you please share what you recommend people to start with when a person feels a need to act? He wants to help, but he doesn't know from what to start. What would you tell to such a person?
Sure, yes. Thanks first. But actually, I'm usually advise people like the first step, you have to think, how can we start? What is the starting point in your life? The second part, to set a great plan. And also the meaning or the point of the plans, you have to set like one plan, second plan, and third plan. I'm usually called it like the high risk plan because of the one failed. So you have another one, and also you have the third one. So you usually have plans to complete. And also after that, you have to find your support. You have to find the person who support you, the foundation who support you, the sponsor who support you. So you have to find the main support and the main pillar in your life. The otherwise, also you have to think spiritually well. I mean, like to be spiritually good. For me, I'm usually feel safe and secure when I am spiritually well. I'm not spiritually well, really, I cannot go through any different things. And also, you have to use creativity, guys. I do believe, as I mentioned before, creativity is not to be a different. No, creativity really a term that more than to being a different. Creativity is like to being unique and effective in your in your society. So you have to find what is the creative way to go through your life. You have to read more. You have to think like how can I complete the next day? For me, I'm usually doing like to-do list. I mean, like today finished, yes, but at the end of the day, I have to write what is next, what is tomorrow next. I have to write one. I have to go through one, two, three, four. So this is like your to-do list, like, and every day you have to do that. The fifth thing also to establish and complete your academic degree or like studies. To study, it is like I mean, like the studying is like the main arm or the main challenge in your life. This is like equal to creativity for me. Because I cannot study really, I cannot go through anything in my life. Because to be academically paced, effective or in a very effective way, I mean. So this is like my advice for the people, the young people in the universities. I mean, I'm usually go through like global stages and national stages here in my country and also over like the world. I'm usually speaking about it. They have to be effective and creative and also to be set up. They have to think, how can I go in a creative way? Me. So this is like my advice for young people to go through in a very perfect future for them.
Thank you very much for your advice. It's a great advice. And you also once said that, wait 1 second, giving up cannot be one of your options.
Oh,
Could you
yes, sure.
could you comment that, please?
Yes, giving up, it is not to be one of your options. Yes. Giving up for me, it's to die. So when you decide to give up, so you decided to die. So giving up really should not be one of your options in your life. You have to think, how can I cut it off? How can I go through this way? How can I face the problems? Not to being far away from the problem itself. You have to face it. You have to find, as I mentioned, plan to go through your solving problems approach. You have to think about high risk plan to also cover, to also over out, also to over the problem itself. So usually at the end, my advice and the main advice for the young people in the world, giving up really should not be one of your options in your day. So if you got a problem, face it. And also do not call as a problem. It is not a problem actually. This is like a trick. And you have to pass this trick in any way.
Thank you so much for this nice advice. And I want to ask you, how do you think it is important to ask people about creative society, to make these interviews and to make these social polls?
Actually, for me, as I believe in creativity, I do need to go through the streets in the world, also talking about creativity for the people. Creativity as is a mirror of our society. We cannot go through good future. We cannot go through good plans in our life. We cannot go through projects and companies management and so on without creativity. Creativity is the main pillar of the really of the world, like of the world issue of the world background. So we have to use it like on third day. The importance of creativity really I cannot describe it because really as I mentioned, this is like the main pillar of our life or our daily life.
Exactly. And I wanted to ask you, how is it gonna sound in your native language in Arabic, creative society or constructive society or prosperous society?
Uh, Actually, in Arabic way, it is like أنا أدعم المجتمع البناء. أنا أدعم المجتمع البناء. أنا كسفير للتمريض صلاح محمد صلاح أدعم المجتمع البناء على مستوى العالم. That's it.
There was a lot of words. And what have you said?
Actually, I mentioned that as Salah Muhammad Salah, the nursing ambassador in the world, I really support the creative society.
Great. And we also
Wow,
wanted
thank
to
you.
Thank you, guys.
ask you whom you would like to invite to this live broadcast. Maybe some of your friends or acquaintances.
Oh, okay. Actually, for me, really, I do love the greatest man is like the Professor Dr. Muhammad Al Arian, who's Cambridge president. Really, I want to meet him here in one day. Guys, if you want to invite him, please invite me through the broadcast to be one of them.
We definitely want to invite him. Do you have his contact?
Okay, so the main person that I want to invite him through Alatra TV and Alatra channel here in the Brooks really is a Professor Muhammad Al Arian. He's like the great economist person in the world. He was the vice president of America in one day Obama for the economic and issues that related to economy. Really, this is a great person. He got honored from Elizabeth Queen, uh, the Queen of UK, for for his creativity, for his passion, for his like what he doing. He's really a great man for me. He's a passionate person.
So we will hope that this theory of six handshakes works, and we will definitely meet him, and we will be happy to invite you as well.
I hope. Sure.
I also would like to tell our viewers that if they want to participate in this broadcast, you can contact us, email us, or write a comment under this video, and we'll be happy to invite you also and talk about creative society. And right now, it's a very good time for the whole world to unite on this great goal of building creative society, the society where everyone can be happy, live comfortably, be safe, and, have a great future altogether. And if you would like to join Creative Society Project, it's very easy to do. You can visit alatraunites.com website, click join us button, choose the language you speak in. You can also choose the way you want to participate in the project, or simply leave us your contact and write us an email. Thank
So
you.
guys, really, the last words I wanna speak about it is like if I have 1 minute to speak,
Yeah,
as a nursing ambassador and also I'm a nursing advocators in the world, I have to say about nurses, really, they are a great and main pillar of the hospital. Guys, if you have like one person from your family member, try to appreciate him. Really, they're doing a lot. They survive a lot. They really sacrifice a lot for being people, for take people care, for like, for unite all the community members, I mean. So please, if you have like one member from your family, one your friends is a nurse, really try to support him. Try to really like send him a gift. Try to appreciate him. Really, they're doing a lot of sacrifice for us. So please, please, those kind of people, really, they having a great right in the world. They have to take it. So they cannot take it right now because they are like survive through the pandemic area or the pandemic crisis of COVID-19. So a little bit, we have to support them. Like if you have friend, try to send him a gift. Try to telling him that you are a fighter. I'm so proud of you. Really, because the nurses, as I mentioned before, they are the main pillar of the hospital, and we cannot go through issues, healthy issues, without them.
Yes, thank you for the message. The nurses do an enormous job, and we really appreciate that. And thank you for this whole conversation. In general, it was a pleasure to meet you, and we're looking forward to meet you again on our platform.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
You
you so
too.
much
Sure.
for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for
Thank
tuning in.
you. Thank you.